share my screen as well. So chapter 14, chemical effects of electric current. Okay, so in your house, sometimes your parents or your elders might have told you about you should not touch the electronic equipments with a wet hand. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, sir.
Uh, Especially when you are about ironing clothes, your elders were told you don't touch it with your hands wet like that. And the fridge, in case of refrigerator also, don't touch it. Such kind of, all of you might have experienced that thing. Do you know why they are saying that? It is because with a wet hand, there is a chance for you get an electric shock. Okay, but when you are taking any plastic materials or any rubber materials, has any of your elders told you don't touch it, you will get electric shock? Anything like that?
No.
No. So, do you think is there anything related in with the connection of water and conductors, insulators like that? Let us see. Okay. In this chapter, we will deal with the chemical effects of electric current. Okay. First of all, let us see. Do the liquids conduct electricity? Let us do some activities. Okay. To test whether a liquid allows electric current to pass through it not, we can use a tester. Okay. Let us see how we are going to do this. Let us see activity 14.1. First of all, you can join the free ends of the tester together for a moment. So this complete the circuit, and the tester and the bulb should glow. Sometimes it may not glow. It's because maybe the tester or the bulb is defective. That is the only reason. But in a normal case, if it is all working perfectly, then the bulb as well as as well as the tester will glow. Now what we are going to do, that was the only activity. Now what we are going to do, now we have to replace the cell by a battery. Okay, then have to cut a few small or plastic or rubber caps of discarded bottles and clean them. Okay, then pour 1 teaspoon of lemon juice or vinegar in a cap. Now, what you have to do? Now bring your tester over this cap and let the ends of the tester dips into lemon juice, as you have seen in here. See, this is our tester and this is our lemon juice, and the ends of this tester is being dipped in the lemon juice or vinegar. Okay, then all of when you are doing this activity, you must be very careful. Okay, and then now let us see, does the bulb of the tester glow? Does the lemon juice or vinegar conduct electricity? How will you classify lemon juice as a good conductor or a poor conductor? What do you think? What is your opinion?
Good
Does it
conductor.
conduct electricity? Yes, it is a, let us see, good conductor or not. Okay. When the liquid between the two ends of the tester allows the electric current to pass, the circuit of the tester becomes complete. Okay. See, if the liquid which lies between those two ends allows the electric current to pass, then the circuit of this tester becomes complete. Then what we can say? The current flows in the circuit and the bulb glows. But when the liquid does not allow the current to pass, the circuit is not complete and the bulb does not glow. But in some situations, even though liquid is conducting, the bulb may not glow. That is because of the effectiveness of the bulb. That can also be a possibility. But we can say that a liquid is actually a good conductor of electricity. Okay, so through our activities, we have seen that these liquids can conduct electricity. And that is the reason your elders were telling you, child, don't touch the electronic equipments with a wet hand. Okay. And again, this such kind of application level questions can be asked in your exams as well. Okay, sometimes you may not be directly asked questions. Instead, you might be asked. Sometimes elders are telling you not to touch the electronic equipments with a wet hand. Why? Give reason. Okay, in such cases, you can write that it is because the liquids allow the electric current to pass. Okay, so due to those reasons, we can say that we should not touch an electric equipment with a wet hand. Okay, now let us see. Do you remember why the bulb glows when the electric current passes through it? Okay, let me just ask you. Can you tell me who discovered electric bulb? Can you name the scientist?
Sir, may I?
Who discovered electric bulb?
Thomas Alva Edison.
Thomas Alva Edison.
Thomas Alva
Yeah.
Edison.
Very good.
Sir, Thomas Alva Edison.
Yes. Oh, yes. Thomas Alva Edison discovered the electric bulb. And do you know the story behind that?
No, sir.
Okay, due to our time limit, I will just mention that only. I won't go in detail, but if we have time access, then I will tell that later. Now, he was about to use which filament to be used in the electric bulb, and he kept on trying different elements, and each time he failed because either the bulb explodes or it won't glow. So it happens continuously. And you know, after trying 1,000 times, he discovered that the filament of tungsten can be used in a electric bulb. So his continuous hard work led him to the discovery of this electric bulb. So we can take the model of Thomas Alva Edison in our learning process also. Okay. Sometimes even if you learn very hard, you may not score full marks like that or good marks according to your wish. But don't get disappointed. Try again and again until you score a high marks according to your satisfaction. Okay, now let us go. Due to the heating effect of current, The filament of the bulb gets heated to a high temperature and it starts glowing. Okay, I think I can just draw you that figure. See, I'll just show it. Actually, this is the shape of a filament, and suppose a battery is being joined here. Okay, a cell is being joined, a positive and a negative. And when electricity or the current passes through this filament, what happens? These filaments get heated and very much heated, and it will result in a heating effect. Okay, and it will begin to glow. That is how the and that is how the current, when passes through this filament, results in the producer of a glowing of bulb. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, however, but there is a problem as well. If the current through a circuit is too weak, the filament does not get heated, and what happens? So sufficiently it won't get heated and it does not glow. And why is the current in the circuit weak? Well, though a material may conduct electricity, it may not conduct it as easily as a metal. Okay, we can see that sometimes in a metal, it will conduct electricity very easily. Okay, but there are some conductors which will conduct electricity, but not easily as it when electricity conducted through a metal, but it will conduct electricity a little bit slower, but still it conducts electricity. Okay, in your higher classes you will learn about what will we call such kind of conductors. Do anybody know that the name of that such kind of conductors?
Poor conductor.
No. Poor conductor means they won't conduct at all, or a very low, very much low. Insulator means no conduct at all. But I am saying that a conductor which will conduct electricity, but not as much as a metal, but not slow, but not too lower as that of a poor conductor. Between this conductor, a good conductor and a poor conductor, there is another one. Anybody know?
Yes.
Say,
Okay. If you don't know, no problem, because you have not nothing to learn in this class. You will learn it in the higher class. I will just mention the name. That is semiconductors. Okay. No problem. Now let us see. As a result, what happens? The circuit of the tester may be complete, and yet current through it may be too weak to make the bulb glow. I have shown you sometimes when current, even if current passes through this filament, the current which passes through the filament is not sufficient so as to make the filament glow. Okay, in such cases, what happens? The bulb won't glow. Okay. Now, we can use another effect of electric current to make another kind of tester. Do you remember one thing? What was the heading of our chapter? Chemical effects of electric current. Okay. So, we will learn about the various chemical effects of electric current. Okay. Now, do you recall that the electric current produces a magnetic effect? What happens to a compass needle kept nearby when current flows in a wire? What happens to a compass needle which is kept nearby when current flows in a wire?
Compass needle shows deflection.
Yes. When current flows through a wire, it will produce a magnetic field around it. And as a result, when we put a compass needle, it will fluctuate. It will change its directions. Okay. Now, even if the current is small, the deflection of the magnetic needle can be seen, because we know that the magnetic needle is very thin and very light, so a little bit of change can result in the deflection. Okay. Now, can we make a tester using the magnetic effect of currents? Let us do that in activity 14.3. And you can see, you know that what do you mean by LEDs? Okay, let me ask you one question. What is the full form of a LED? Anybody know? Anyone? It's a challenge. All of you are calling it as LED like this.
It means light
But
emitting diodes.
light emitting?
Diodes.
No, light, but it is so close. No problem. It is a light emitting diode.
Diodes.
Okay. Diode, D-I-O-D-E. You will learn that in the higher class. Okay. And light emitting diodes, what happens? When current passes through it, the diodes, as we have seen, in case of a conductor also, or in the case of our electric bulb also, as we have seen, this diode gets heated and it will begin to glow red hot, and it will glow, and then it will produce a light. Okay, no problem. Only for your information, I told you all this. So now let us go to our next activity 14.3. Take the tray from inside a discarded matchbox. Okay. Wrap an electric wire a few times around the tray. Now place a small compass needle inside it. Now connect one free end of the wire to the terminal of a battery, leave the other end free. Take another piece of wire and connect it to the other terminal. See, like this. Okay, we are conducting, or we are constructing another tester. Okay, now what we are going to do, we should join the free ends of the two wires momentarily. Then what happens? The compass needle will show a deflection. Okay, actually what we have taken, we are taking a discarded matchbox and we are wrapping it with the electric wire few times. See, like this. Okay, then what happens? We are placing a compass needle inside it. Now what we are doing? Now we have connected one free end of the wire to the terminal of a battery here. Okay, leave the other end free. Okay, this end is being free. Then take the another piece of wire and connect it to the terminal of the battery here. Okay, then join the free ends of the two wires momentarily. You can join and then disjoin like that. Then you can see that the compass needle will show us a deflection. Now, you are asked to repeat the activity 14.2 using the same tester. And we can find that, we can check that whether there is a deflection or not when it is dipped in the lemon juice. Okay. Again, take out the ends of the tester from the lemon juice, dip them in water, and then wipe them dry. Okay. And you can see that, see, a lemon juice, in case of a lemon juice, it shows a deflection and it is a good conductor. Okay. And some other items are also shown to you, and using that you can see that, okay, whenever we are doing these experiments, we can see that some of the liquids are good conductors of electricity, whereas some are poor conductors. Okay. Actually, under certain conditions, most materials can conduct. That is why it is preferable to classify materials as good conductors and poor conductors instead of classifying as conductors and insulators. Because, see, most of the materials can conduct electricity under certain conditions. Okay, but because of that, we are not naming materials as conductors and insulators. Instead, there are many classifications. There is conductor, good conductor, and semiconductor. Then what is poor conductors? Then insulators. So that's why there are many classifications. Okay. Students, are you all following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any
Yes,
doubt
sir.
regarding all this? Because this chapter is a small chapter. Don't worry about, don't think that it is very difficult, all that. This is very simple chapter. And after this chapter, I will give you notes also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But you have to remember one thing. You should read this chapter. Okay. That is also very important.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Now also.
Okay. Now let us go to our next activity, activity 14.4. Say, take about 2 teaspoons full of distilled water in a clean and dry plastic or a rubber cap of a bottle. Now what we can do? Use the tester to test whether distilled water conducts electricity or not. Let us see. Okay, now what you have to do? Now dissolve a pinch of common salt in distilled water. Again, test. We can see that when a salt is dissolved in a distilled water, we obtain a salt solution. Obviously, this is a conductor of electricity. Okay. But the water that we get from sources such as taps, hand pumps, wells, and ponds are not pure. It may contain several salts dissolved in it. Small amounts of mineral salts are naturally present in it. This water is thus a good conductor of electricity. On the other hand, distilled water is free of salts and a poor conductor. Okay, so you can see that when you take 2 teaspoons full of distilled water, there is no electric conductivity in that distilled water. Okay, And do you know why there is no electric conductivity? Can anybody say why? Can anyone say why there is no electric conductivity in a distilled water? We have just seen. Anyone? See here,
Because it may
distilled water.
salt,
Yes,
because it contains salt dissolved in it.
because the distilled water is free of salts. Okay,
Elements are free radicals.
it is free of salts, and that is why it is having a poor conductor. Okay, see here, distilled water is free of salts and thus it is a poor conductor. But what happens when we take some tap water or any water from the pump like that? It contains salts already dissolved in it, and sometimes small amounts of mineral salts are also present in it. So naturally, this water is a good conductor of electricity. But when you take a distilled water, it is free of salts. Okay, that is the reason. Here,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
okay. Now let us see. Small amounts of mineral salts present naturally in water are beneficial for human health. But however, these salts make water a good conductor. So we should never handle electrical appliances with wet hands or while standing on a wet floor. Okay, always keep this in your mind. Okay, don't handle electrical appliances with a wet hand. You can see that sometimes when a mobile is charging, sometimes with a wet hand you may take that mobile charger out of the plug and you may get shock. It is because many people are even got shock from that and they got died as well. Okay, so don't pluck out or use a wet hand to contact with an electrical appliance. Okay. Now, we have found that the common salt, when dissolved in distilled water, makes it a good conductor. Okay, we have seen earlier. In that water is not conductor, but when we put some salt in it, then it conducts electricity. Students, can you hear me?
So now we can.
Yes, sir. Now
Okay.
we can hear.
Hearing.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so
Yes,
we have seen that a common
Yes, sir.
salt, when dissolved in distilled water, only makes it a good conductor. What are the other substances which, when dissolved in distilled water, makes it conductor? Let us find out. Okay. Now, most liquids that conduct electricity are solutions of acids, bases, and salts. When an electric current flows through a conducting solution, does it produce an effect on the solution? Let us see the chemical effect of electric current. That is in our next section. Okay. So you have to read your textbook. That is your homework. Okay. All students should read your textbook. I will ask questions from this section in our next class. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
So
Okay, sir.
read
Okay, sir.
the section 14.1.